It's estimated 1 in 4 women experience severe, intimate physical violence by a partner in the United States. That's according to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. Sadly, many of those women suffer in silence, fearful to come forward and scared to get help. In 2018, Tanya Selvaratnam decided she could no longer stay quiet. Her story of abuse was shared in a report featured in The New Yorker in 2018. Selvaratnam, along with several other women, accused then New York State Attorney General Eric Schneiderman of abuse. In a statement to The New Yorker, Schneiderman said, "I have not assaulted anyone and I have never engaged in non-consensual sex." He resigned his post after the allegations were made public and has since undergone therapy. Selvaratnam has a new book out detailing her own experiences, and it's titled Assume Nothing, a story of intimate violence. Earlier today, I spoke with her about the book and her message for other victims of abuse. Tanya Selvaratnam joins us now. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Why did you write this book?
Well, I wrote my way out of the darkness, and I wrote a book that I hope helps others to spot, stop, and prevent intimate partner violence in their own lives and in the lives of their loved ones. I was inspired to write the book because I had so many people reach out to me after my story of intimate violence became public in 2018, sharing their own stories of abuse. They were friends and strangers, and I wanted to take the stigma and shame out of being a victim and survivor.
And your story, of course, published in The New Yorker, along with another woman who came forward, several others who were anonymous. And Eric Schneiderman resigned from his post as the Attorney General for the state of New York. Were charges pressed against him in this case?
There were multiple investigations, and in the end, there were no formal criminal charges brought. But the special prosecutor, DA Madeline Singas, made a statement that she believed the women, but that the bar was too high to establish a crime, and also because of statutes of limitations. She also introduced legislation that would make physical violence without consent a crime. And that was a huge step. And also Eric Schneiderman himself issued a statement when that investigation was concluded that he apologized for the harm that he had done to the women, and that he was getting help, that he had gone to rehab.
Is that enough for you?
I believe in redemption. I believe in restorative justice. I feel that if an abuser has committed harm and acknowledges that harm and does the time, either time because they've been convicted of a crime, or does the time to work hard to not become an abuser anymore, then we can accept them. But the issue is that most perpetrators don't do any of that, and they continue to get away with it. Because we have these cults of personality around rich people, powerful people, talented people, and those cults are very damaging to the people in them and also to society.
Tanya, I know it's been several years since you came forward with your story. You were very brave to do so. Have you spoken with Eric Schneiderman since you came out?
No. And because of this multiple investigations that were going on, it would be very odd if I did hear from him. I did hear from him, though, in the months after we parted ways. And every time I did hear from him, it was jarring. I was shaking. I had PTSD.
During the pandemic, you have said the most dangerous place for a woman is in her own home. Given the circumstances that many people are living in right now, what did you mean by that?
When you're in lockdown with an abuser, the opportunities dwindle for you to get away from that abuser and for you to get help.
Tanya, there are so many victims of domestic violence who are suffering in silence right now. What is your message to them?
You're not alone. You're not crazy. That you can get help. And the book offers resources for multiple organizations that deal with specific communities. And I think that's a very important message, that even though abuse is such a common and tragic experience, every victim is unique, and that there need to be unique strategies to give help to those victims.
Well, it is very brave of you, Tanya, to speak out, to share your story, and I hope it empowers other women to do the same and for them to understand that they are not alone and they do not have to suffer in silence. Tanya Selvaratnam, we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And the book, Assume Nothing, will be released this week. Selvaratnam says it's important victims of abuse know that there are places to turn for help. If you or someone you know is being abused, you can call the National Domestic Violence Hotline. That number is there on your screen, 1-800-799-7233. We've also posted that number and multiple other resources on our website, newsnationnow.com. We did reach out to the district attorney's office in New York. They could not discuss the details of the allegations against Schneiderman, but did tell us the investigation and case is closed. And again, no charges were filed against him. And Rob, I think it's important to reiterate the point that she made about the pandemic. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of women who are in the shadows, in silence, afraid to come out. And the pandemic has only worsened that. We are not seeing the full extent of the numbers, not just women, but victims, children who are abused and who are part of this vicious cycle as well. So please know that you are not alone. There are plenty of people out there willing to help. The problem is, in the pandemic, they often don't have the opportunity to seek that help.
Exactly. And now we're a year into this. Right. Every day magnifies the problem.
Right.
Great interview. Thank you, Marnie.